First, I want to thank all of the people that made this learning on the internet possible. The rabbis and students who gave shiurim, the Torah Mitzion Bachorim who helped organizing and editing these videos, and for you, that although you are stuck at home because of Corona, you join us in learning together as we spread Torah and we make our community somehow more connected, although this challenging times. One of the questions we meet on Leil HaSeder, on the Seder night, is how much matzah or how much wine should we drink? What are the measurements or what are the shiurim? We need to drink wine or eat matzah. And are we limited by time? Do we have 1 minute, 5 minutes? What is the time limit? We will go through the Kadesh, through Kiddush, drinking wine, and then we'll learn about matzah. The measurement for liquid is a revi'it. A revi'it of log, and we'll see soon how much a revi'it is. Another measurement for drinking is a mouthful. This is a personal, more subjective measurement, and how much is a mouthful? Since usually a mouthful is included in a revi'it and most of a revi'it, so we won't go into it, but just in case you have a very big mouth, you should know that you have to drink also a mouthful. So the measurement for liquid is a revi'it. The cup should be at least a revi'it, and we should drink most of the cup. By the way, if you take a big cup, you should drink most of the cup. If you fill it up with wine and not grape juice, you might not end the Seder the way you plan to. But in any case, if you can't drink most of the cup, you should drink at least most of a revi'it. And obviously the question is, how much is a revi'it? There's a known argument between the Chazon Ish and the Grach Na'eh regarding measurements. It includes the argument of Kazait, Revi'it, and other measurements too. And obviously also here in Leil HaSeder, we have this argument. According to the Grach Na'eh, he has a relatively small measurement, and the Chazon Ish expands the measurement in about double the amount. According to the Grach Na'eh, the measurement for a revi'it is about 86 milliliters. 86 milliliters is just under 3 fluent ounces. If you take the small cup, which you can buy in probably any shop, this has about 3 fluid ounces. It has 88 milliliters in it. So if you fill up this cup until the end and drink most of it, or all of it, you're fine according to the Grach Na'eh and most of the poskim too. The Chazon Ish doubles more or less the amount, and he says one should drink about 150 milliliters. It's about 5 fluid ounces. If you take this cup, a simple disposable cup you can buy in any shop, that has much more than a revi'it according to the Chazon Ish. It has about 200 milliliters, so much more than a revi'it according to the Chazon Ish. What do we do? In a mitzvah, the Rabbanan, in a rabbinical mitzvah, one can go according to the more lenient opinion. And since Kiddush is a rabbinical mitzvah, one can use the smaller measurement of the Grach Na'eh, using only 86 milliliters or 3 fluid ounces. However, since most of us probably drink grape juice, and it's not so hard to drink most of the revi'it according to the Chazon Ish, according to the bigger measurement, so there's no problem in drinking even more than that. As we said, we need to drink only most of the revi'it. So if you have a cup that holds 150 milliliters, I think most cups you have at home hold 150 milliliters and you drink most of it, that's fine. And the second question regarding the measurements is how much time do we have? There's an argument between the Rambam and the Ravad regarding the time for drinking. In eating, as we will see soon, there's a time called Kedei Achilat Pras, the time it takes to eat half a loaf of bread. This time is relatively long, anyway between 2 minutes and 11 minutes, as we'll see later. And the question is, does this time apply also for drinking, or do we use a subjective measurement of how long does it take to drink a revi'it? And when we say how long does it take to drink a revi'it, I mean drinking, including the time we stop every now and then to breathe. So it's not drinking fast, it's just including the time to stop every now and then and breathe. Since the mitzvah is a rabbinical mitzvah, we can take the more lenient opinion and use the larger measurement. However, we don't need to. The smaller measurement takes the time of Kedei Shtiyat Revi'it, the time it takes to drink a revi'it, says, measure the time it takes to drink a whole revi'it, plus a few moments there to breathe and to take sips. That's the time you should drink most of a revi'it. So I need to drink most of a revi'it in the time it takes to drink a whole revi'it. Let's say, just for the example, it takes to drink a whole revi'it 10 seconds. And I need to drink most of a revi'it. So let's say if I drink most of a revi'it fast, it takes me 7 seconds. So I still have 3 seconds left. In other words, if I take the Kiddush cup, lean, enjoy the drinking, and drink it straight with breathing in the middle, without choking myself, and I don't stop to talk to other people or to laugh or something. I just drink like I drink a cup. I'm fine. I don't need to look at the watch and measure time. Again, since we need to drink most of a revi'it in the normal time it takes to drink a whole revi'it. And now when we finished and understood Kiddush, we can move to the maybe more complicated question, the matzah. How much matzah do we need to eat? Also here, we have an argument, and the argument is based on the shi'ur kazait. The measurement in food is a kazait, a measurement of an olive. How much is an olive? Is it a small olive? Is it a large olive? If you go into the markets in Israel, you can see many kinds of olives. Some of them are very big and some of them are small. So what olive are we talking about? Another question we have, are our olives different than the olives they had in Israel 2,000 years ago? So in those questions we have quite a big, quite a lot of opinions regarding how much matzah should we eat. Another opinion which we'll mention, and we won't go into it deeply, is the Sephardic minhag, to measure the olive, instead of in volume, to measure it in weight. The olive, it's acceptable in all poskim that it's a measurement of volume. Since it's sometimes hard to measure volume, you have air in between and other reasons, many Sfaradim moved to measure an olive, a kazait, in weight. And if you talk about the matzah, it makes the measurement even bigger. So the measurements go for anywhere between a fifth of a machine matzah and a whole machine matzah. And let's just organize it for us so we can see what to do. According to the Grach Na'eh and most poskim, an olive is about 27 milliliters. If we're talking about a machine matzah, it's about a third of a machine matzah. And I think in the matzot we got the hand matzah. It's about a quarter of a hand matzah. Obviously, it depends on each matzah, how big it is and how thick it is. But more or less, it's a quarter of a hand matzah and a third of a machine matzah. The Chazon Ish expands this measurement, and the same as a Revi'it, he doubles it. So according to the Chazon Ish, a kazait is 2/3 of a machine matzah and about half of the hand matzah we have. During the Seder night, we eat quite a few kazaits, quite a lot of matzah. So we start the Seder night with 2 kazaits, one for hamotzi and one for matzah. We even say 2 brachot on it. For korech, we use 1 kazait of matzah together with maror, and in the time of the temple, they also had the Pesach in it, the lamb. And at the end of the Seder night, we have the Afikoman, when we need to eat 1 kazait, and some have a minhag to eat 2 kazait. So if we count all the kazaits, we have between 4 and 5 kazait. If we take the larger measurement, that is quite a lot of matzah, and most of us probably will have a bit of problem in eating so much matzah. So what do we do? In a rabbinical mitzvah, we said one can take the smaller measurement. Matzah is a mitzvah from the Torah, at least the first kazait. So at least the first kazait is a mitzvah from the Torah. So although most or many of the paskim hold like the grach na'eh, that the measurement is smaller, seems like that in a Torah mitzvah we should eat a big kazait. Luckily, the way the Seder is built, we have this measurement. As we said, at the beginning of the Seder, we eat 2 kazaits, 1 for hamotzi and 1 for matzah. If for each one of those kazaits I eat a smaller measurement of the grach na'eh, 1/3 of a machine matzah or 1/4 of a hand matzah, altogether I have a kazait like the Chazon Ish. So I fulfill the mitzvah midoraita even according to the Chazon Ish. So if in the beginning of the Seder night I eat, or the beginning of eating the matzah, motzi and matzah, I eat about half a hand matzah, or 2/3 of a machine matzah, so I ate 2 kazaits according to the grach na'eh, and a kazait to fulfill the mitzvah from the Torah according to the Chazon Ish. So I'm fine. Afterwards, towards the end of the Seder, since we already fulfilled the mitzvah from the Torah, mitzvah midoraita, we can eat the smaller measurement of 1/3 of a matzah. People who find it really, really hard to eat matzah can eat afterwards also 1/5 of a matzah, since some poskim hold the kazait is even smaller than the grach na'eh. And so if we sum it up, in the beginning we should eat 2/3 of a matzah, of a machine matzah. That holds for 2 kazaits. That way we for sure fulfill the mitzvah midoraita. Afterwards we should eat a 1/3 of a matzah, at least a 1/3 of a matzah for each kazait. And people who find it very hard to eat matzah, afterwards can eat also only 1/5 of a matzah. And now we come to the time measurement. How long should it take to eat matzah? Once I remember a family who looked at the watch, they took the matzah, ate the matzah, kept it in his mouth, and then looked at the watch and swallowed it fast, to make sure he eats all of the matzah in time. Other people get very nervous, and they're trying to make sure they'll eat the kazait in the right time and they won't have to eat it again. Actually, if we look at the time, so we'll see something simple. We don't need to rush. We might need to eat fast, without talking in the middle, without breaking too long. We don't need to rush. We don't need to be nervous. The time for eating a kazait of matzah is called kedei achilat pras. It's a time measurement for many other things regarding to eating Yom Kippur and other things. Kedei achilat pras, the time it takes to eat half a loaf of bread. How many kazaits are there in a loaf of bread? It's an argument between the Rishonim, Rosh and Rambam, but there's between 8 and 9 kazait in half a loaf of bread, which means we need to eat 1 kazait of matzah in the time it takes to eat 8 or 9 kazaits of bread. Now, we know that it takes longer to eat matzah. It's hard, it's harder to swallow. It takes longer to eat matzah than bread. We eat bread much faster. Let's say we eat bread twice as fast as matzah. Still, we have enough time to eat a kazait of matzah in the time of kedei achilat pras. So when we eat the matzah, we don't need to look at the watch, we don't need to be nervous, we just need to eat it fast, without talking to our friends, to our family. Enjoy this mitzvah we have once a year of eating this nama de me'menuta, the bread of faith, and we don't need to rush through it. We just need to eat it straight. If we sum up the measurements, the time measurement also for drinking and also for eating might be short. We don't have the whole night to eat, but we don't need to be nervous about it. Just lean and drink, lean and eat, and enjoy this holy mitzvah we have in this special night of the year. And we wish all of us, L'shana haba be'arad Yisrael, next year we'll be in the land of Israel. L'shana haba b'nei chorin, we'll be free. And maybe this year we feel a bit like slaves, that we are locked in our houses, and we pray for refuah shlema, and may all of us be free from our houses. We will be able to walk without any coronaviruses running around or any other things which stop us from learning Torah together as a group, meeting each other and doing the Seder together with family. L'shana haba'a b'Yerushalayim, and Chag Sameach.